Trump scoring a major legal victory that's got the media fuming. A federal judge in Florida granting Trump's request to a special master to review the items seized during the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. Some in the media not too happy about that and lashing out at the judge.
Trump judges do not believe in the rule of law. They do not believe in precedent, do not believe in facts. They do not believe in logic.
It is striking how this judge has created this exception. It's a wild decision.
This is the most important professional thing that this judge has ever done in her life, and you'd expect an A game. And this is riddled with errors and silliness.
And before we hear any commentary from here, I want you to listen to one more. This is MSNBC host Mehdi Hasan with an interesting theory.
The rest of the world is probably wondering why he hasn't been prosecuted yet. Why we are a weird global outlier when it comes to giving former leaders some kind of blanket immunity from prosecution.
Okay, so that's a roundup of what was going on. Judge, what do you think about the judge's decision to allow for a special master?
You know, I really wasn't surprised because she had indicated she was inclined to do it. She asked the government, what is the harm to a special master? And she said that this special master, which she will select, I think, at the end of the week, based upon input by both the Department of Justice as well as President Trump's attorneys, this special master will have to go through 11,000 plus documents, and that person may be alone and not necessarily have his own team of people like the government. But what she's basically saying here is that that there has been enough of a callous disregard by the FBI of the president, and there's a good argument for that in terms of the FISA warrant, the re-upping of the warrant, and all of the Russia collusion delusion. So she said, you know what? I'm not going to rely on the DOJ's team to review this, and we already know the DOJ's team took attorney-client stuff, but she did something really important. What she said was, in addition to attorney-client, I want them to kind of filter through and see if there's anything that's protected by executive privilege. There are also medical records and tax records. I mean, this is beyond the scope of the search based upon the warrant itself. And there's one more thing I want to say. She quotes the United States, I believe the Supreme Court, where a former president must be able to successfully invoke presidential communications privilege for communications that occurred during his presidency, even if the current president doesn't support that. That is opposite to what people like Bill Barr are saying, you know, executive privilege doesn't apply. It's not 100% settled, but there is case law to the effect that you can protect that information. And that's what she's hoping the special master will do.
Jesse, one of the liberal commentators talked about the judge's decision being a breathtaking overreach, which is what a lot of people were saying about that support President Trump, that was a breathtaking overreach to raid Mar-a-Lago.
So the judge Biden shopped the warrant to, fair and balanced judge. This guy donated to Obama. He's an Epstein team lawyer. He's posting political screeds on the internet. He's recusing himself because he has Trump derangement syndrome. But a federal judge, confirmed by the Senate, almost half the Senate Democrats voted for this judge to confirm her. Leahy voted to confirm. Feinstein voted to confirm. Pristine record. Why? Well, because a Democratic president raided the home of a Republican president. So she says, let's have an independent guy come and look and sort this whole thing out. The American people see that that's the fair thing to do. Special master, I kind of like the ring of that, don't you, Greg?
I want to be a special master.
Right.
You've been very bad, Jesse. You've been really bad, and I'm going to punish you.
I know. I'm into the whole thing, too. If you look at the media commentary on this judicial ruling, you'd think she took a Sharpie and wrote, "Let's go, Brandon," on a piece of paper, and it was like, here. Like, no, it was a very thoughtful ruling.
Harold, is there any nuance here?
Well, first of all, let me say, I agree with the former prosecutor. This is a big win for President Trump. It'll likely, I think, delay the investigation, which I don't know who that favors. I've heard commentary that it probably favors former President Trump more than anything else. I was interesting to me, Judge, that she cited, this judge cited the reputation of the president and her concern for the reputation. I mean, any criminal defendant who's investigated, he or she would be concerned about their reputation if they were innocent. And I've never seen a court quite give that kind of deference. I'm just not a believer in special treatment for anyone. When Bill Clinton was president, he was a sitting president. They deposed him. Ken Starr did. So just the idea of special treatment is not something I really agree with.
They didn't break into his house.
Well, they didn't break into a country club either. They got a court-approved warrant to go in there. And the reason they did, Judge, which gets to my fourth point, the president still, what I find amazing is that former President Trump still has not explained why he defied a subpoena. First of all, why he took the documents, why he defied the subpoena, and if indeed he was doing something with the documents that he needed to be doing. I've heard people speculate he might have been writing a book and other things. And these are all legitimate things. I just wish if I had taken documents, I'd say I didn't take them, or I don't know what they're doing. The one positive about the judge's decision is that she is allowing the D&I investigation to go forward around the damage assessment of what was there to ensure that we haven't compromised any sources, we haven't compromised any other collection efforts. So I don't know what the Justice Department's going to do, if they're going to appeal or not, but it certainly is a win for President Trump.
Let me turn the floor over to you.
Well, if I were a special master, I would get this done in an hour. The most obvious explanation is that when you move out, like, you break up, split up, stuff gets put in boxes. Your ex calls and says, you took my sweatshirt, right? My BU sweatshirt. You have my Tone Loc CDs. You have my favorite wine glasses. And you go, no, I didn't. She goes, yes, you did, because I know that they're missing. No, I swear to God, I didn't take your wine glasses. Oh, no, you took your wine glasses. And then you go and you find out that maybe you did, and now they're broken and you don't want to say anything. So this is more about dividing stuff up, right? It's like figuring out what belongs. But even more, you know what this reminds me of? You know when you watch your favorite sitcom or drama, there's like 3 storylines, and there's always one you hate?
Yes.
Because like in 24, they always had, oh, maybe the secretary has an interesting life. No, she doesn't. Or Friends, Phoebe's brother shows up, and it's like, why do they even have Phoebe anymore on the show? Because that storyline always goes to a dead end. These tangents are not the main story about what's going on in America. This is what in cable news is like a tertiary narrative that takes you out somewhere else and then drops you off there and then when the story goes away, doesn't bother to drive you back. We've been through this a million times. You know what I'm saying? It's like this thing that like, it just like, ooh, and then you listen to it and you're going, no, what are we talking about? We're talking about papers.
Best Tone Loc song.
Oh, geez. The one that samples Van Halen.
Funky Cold Medina.
Well, that's pretty good.
Wild Thing. Wild Thing.
By the way, R.I.P. Tone Loc.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to this block.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.